Hello everyone, it's me again, Thursday. It's the update from Del Mar for Breeders' Cup 2025, and boy, it's been a busy one on the backside here. Can you say that? Yeah, I think you can. On the backside here at Del Mar. It doesn't really matter if you can't or you can, I've said it. Here at Del Mar, it really has been a busy day for us, and there's a whole load to put into the show today. So what have you? Well, first of all, a lengthy interview with Christophe Soumillon, who, particularly if you're a fancier of Christophe, although it is worth remembering that he is married to a former Miss France, so you've probably got no real chance with him. But if you do fancy him a bit, he shows us just how fit he is, despite riding at 8 stone 7, something that I have not seen since I emerged from my mother at birth. We also speak to Kia Jarabshin, who tries to make a splash at Breeders' Cup with the AMA racing team. There's so much I'm having to remind myself. Charlie Appleby gets stuck into Rebel's romance and just why he is Godolphin's world international globe-trotting superstar. We speak to Francis-Henri Graffard, my favourite French trainer, just an absolute charmer, an absolute magician with racehorses, and particularly about Goliath and the tests that he's had to go through because of his stringhalt, his nervous system, and the extra tests that he's had to go through to show that he's fit and well. And at the end, I'm hoping they'll even put in, because to be honest, it was my favourite moment of the day, as it is every year, a little chat with Bo Derek. And it just makes me feel that if I'd been around at the time when she came out of the sea in the James Bond film, my whole life could have been a little bit different. Kind of feel I'd have been an excellent husband for Bo back in the day. That's all coming up on the Thursday Breeders' Cup update. Willie Mullins. I was saying, Willie, we go around this room and you see all the superstars, but then just sitting quietly, all on his own,
trying to figure this out, Matt.
is the champion of Ireland himself. Is it a bit weird where you're not constantly being sort of hallowed as the greatest?
It's very nice to have just one horse here and observe everything and just take everything in. Fabulous venue, and as you say, everyone is here. It's tremendous.
Actually, you've hit on something there, because I remember Martin Pipe, and I'm sure he still does it, even in whatever age he is now, 80s. He would go round stables. He'd ask trainers to have a look round, but he would then check out everything, and he'd be looking at feed. I imagine when you're here, you'd be looking at boxes, feed, stalls, all those kind of things. What might you be able to improve on that you see here?
Yeah, and I've just been over there at the omelette counter, so I sent a video back to the kitchen in Close Sutton.
The local Irish pubs?
Not quite, but anyhow. No, I just arrived in last night, so I didn't get a chance to see much, but I'll be taking your advice, Matt. Thank you, yeah.
Well, from stall 14, it sounds like, I mean, obviously the draw isn't fixed. I don't want anyone to make us think that is, but it's almost like your reputation has gone before you and they said, okay, we'll stick him in the car park in the turf.
Yeah, I mean, we're here. We don't think we can finish in the first 4, but if we get 5th, 6th or 7th, that'd be great. And maybe from that draw we can, slot back in behind them and let the race develop and try and come through. And we'd probably have to ride for luck. I don't think there's any point in trying to get up with the pace and across. It's that's where we are, I think. That's my feeling, but I haven't spoken to Dylan yet, but I imagine he's going to feel the same way.
I mean, it's almost a ride of fun, isn't it? Because if you actually were drawn 4 to 8, say, you'd be thinking, okay, what position do I need to get here? The chances are you'll miss the break a bit anyway. Most Europeans do.
Yeah.
Slot him behind, and then if he's good enough, try and fly down. It's a bit like racing slingshot at Lingfield. Come down the middle of the track.
I think that might be plan A. And now, we jumped him out of stalls yesterday beside a couple of sprinters, and he flew out the gate. And that's what happened to Menasca 2 years ago. He got such a break. He was doing too much in the early part of the race. I really don't want that to happen. What I was saying is the best scenario, that we could, as you say, fly home.
He's here, folks. And that's important when you go back in history at the Breeders' Cup. Super Sumi, 6 Breeders' Cup rides for Aidan O'Brien. And I say it's important you're here, Super, because, of course, back in the day, COVID came along and ruined your chance of more than one Breeders' Cup winner, which it's crazy you've only ridden one. What's been going on?
It's life, you know. I never won a British Classic too, so there is always like empty cases to try to fill up with the time. I still think I'm young enough to trying to go forward with everything and trying to win some more Breeders' Cup and big races worldwide. But like I said a few weeks ago, I'm so lucky to have Aidan calling me when he heard that Ryan was off for the season. So listen, I'm gonna take everything I can get now, but I'm very happy to be here and to ride all these amazing horses.
And you are making a huge personal effort. Now, if I wanted to lose 5 pounds, Super, I could do it fairly easily. I could just stop eating for a couple of days, it would be gone. When you're already weighing just about nothing and you have to get down to 8 stone 7, which I guess is 54 in your language, is it 54? 54?
Yeah,
55 is 8-9, yeah?
I have to do like 53 and a half.
53 and a half, okay.
So to be honest with you, a few years ago it will be very difficult for me to make it, but since I opened that pony academy I feel much fitter. I'm walking a lot, so I'm just a kilo over now, and I have 2 days to lose it, so I'm gonna be fit and ready for Saturday without any problem.
Are you really fit though underneath that shit? Is it? Wow, hold on. It's a good pair of boxers as well. Yeah. I mean, there's nothing on you. Can you just give us an idea of what your diet has been over the last 48 hours?
Just eating once a day, veggies and a little bit of fish, drinking a lot of espresso coffee, and training, trying to do 2 or 3 hours sports every day, just walking and running if I can, and some hot bath probably at the last moment, but I don't want to be too dehydrated because I have a lot of good rides Friday, so I think I'm gonna do the last rush on Saturday morning. But no, I'm feel happy, fresh, so no problem at all with the weight.
And do you feel in some ways the fact that Aidan has given you this opportunity, it's kind of you want to do everything to say thank you in some ways, and this is kind of your sacrifice?
It's one of a lifetime chance to do it, and like I said, it's a short period replacement, so I need to do everything on my side to be most professional as possible, and trying to lose no races when I ride for them. We all know how high competitors Coolmore and Aidan O'Brien and his whole team are, and you don't want to bring any frustration to get beat because you make a mistake in a race. So that's why we need to be all of us in the team really focused, knowing the horse as best as possible, and the track as well. Even if I'm going to discover the track on the weekend, I rode plenty of races in America before, and I know this track suits also European horses in the past. So we're going to be positive and trying to be focused for the weekend, because I'm sure I can do something great this weekend.
And although there's nothing on your stomach, we only have to look at these. You're muscled up, and there'll be no lack of strength.
We all may build differently, and we all train and eat differently. But I'm coming now in a period of my life where I know exactly what's good for me or not. I did a lot of experience in the past, so yeah, for me it's easy now. And like you said, when you have 6 rides with 6 good chances. You can't let go things low. Before
we just go through the rides, I just want to come on to your character, because one of the reasons that I absolutely think you're fantastic is because I think over the past you've been absolutely bonkers, and I like that in people. I like the craziness, but do you feel to be Soumillon you need that edge, or can you still be Soumillon without the slight madness?
You know, I think unfortunately we bred like a certain part. My mom and my dad are quite difficult when they get young, when they are younger too. My father was a bit crazy, so probably I took from him. With the time and the experience, you try to change, especially when you start to get a dad. You see the things differently in life, and you want to show a little bit more the right way to conduct and do things in life. But you know what I'm doing now with the academy and the kids need me to be even more professional and show them exactly the right things to do. But yeah, we are all have our period where we are a little bit more, how you say, not crazy, but yeah, I'm like that, and I think that helps me in some periods when people try to make me think or say things about me. I never really listen on it. I learned a lot from my mistakes in life, and I think I came always back stronger, and that's the way you need to do it. And I thank so much all the people that give me a second, a third, a fourth chance, because yeah, I touched the bottom a few times in the past, and to going back to the top, it's something that make you feel something crazy and amazing for your spirit, your brain, and your heart. So yeah, I'm gonna think now to keep there, not going back down again. But that's life. That's my racing career, and you can't go back to the past.
And here you are riding for Aidan O'Brien, champion of Ireland every year since 1999, 8 times British champion. He's done it all, Breeders' Cup, records around the corner. You could be responsible for him being the most successful Breeders' Cup trainer of all time and breaking Dean Wayne Lucas's record of 20. They jointly hold that at the moment. So let's go through very quickly some of the big rides. Precise, terrible draw. Aidan says arguably the best juvenile filly that he has ever trained.
Yeah, I agree with Aidan. She's amazing. The way she won last time was quite incredible in Newmarket. I was quite impressed also when she won in the Curragh. She showed that she can wait. She has a strong turn of foot. We're just going to see how she breaks out the gates. But I saw Ryan riding Henry Matisse last year perfectly in the middle of the pack, and he came outside. We all know she's really good. We just hope the tempo will be nice in the race and giving us the chance to make up some ground. And if she jumps and breaks the gate better than she did last time, maybe we're going to ride a bit more positive. But she looks in great shape. She looks very fresh. And I know she's really good. So there is no pressure with her.
Stade is clearly knocking at the door as being one of the best colts.
Yeah.
But he's just got to go and get another win on the board. He's just got a nasty draw.
I was a bit frustrated with him after the Curragh. I think we could win that race. He was just a bit unbalanced the last 100 yards, and we didn't catch the line in the right momentum. And last time in Newmarket, he pulled too much in the beginning of the race. I probably made the mistake to try to cover him. But he jumped fast out the gates. With that draw, I just hope he's going to break very well and then try to also go through the middle of the pack. I know he's able to quicken too, and he's good. He finished 3 times second in a Grade 1 in Europe, and that looks to be enough to be very competitive in this race.
When Mini Hawk won the Yorkshire Oaks, Aidan said straight away, right, Whirl will go for the arc, soft ground. Mini Hawk will go straight to the Breeders' Cup turf, firm ground. Obviously, in the end, Mini Hawk ran in the arc, but she ran superbly. Do you just feel that she's the best horse in the race?
Yeah, by far. I have a lot of respect for Rebel Romance. I know how good he is, how easy he is to ride. But I think when Mini Hawk is on her top or perform, she's above these horses. She's probably a filly like Enable or Trev. We get a bit unlucky to get beaten on the line in the arc. I'm sure if the ground wasn't that heavy, we probably win the race. But listen, she looks great. She's amazing at the moment, and yeah, we're gonna ride her very confidently. We have a good draw in the middle, and I'm sure she can do something great on Saturday.
I know you've got Brussels, who's obviously got a chance, and Bedtime Story, but just finally with the Lion in Winter, at the end of last year, people were saying, you know, the Lion Winter's going to win everything, the Guineas, the Derby, etc. He hasn't quite reached it, but are there signs now that he's just peaking at the right time?
I think, yeah, he's coming on the right time. His last run in Ascot showed that he did everything perfect. When I came to hit the front, he was going to win the race, and unfortunately we get beat from a 100 to 1 shot. But no, if he still improve 1 or 2 lengths on that run, he's going to be very competitive. I think it's a strong race, but the way he brakes, if he can get in a good position in the race, I'm sure he's going to have a big chance.
Breeders' Cup is on the global scale. Godolphin is about global racing. William Buick is the main Godolphin jockey. And William, you've got some tasty rides. We have to start with your cap horse, basically Rebels Romance, because it's going to be tough for him. But he's such a warrior. I bet you just can't wait to sit on him.
Yeah, no, absolutely. He's a horse. I always look forward to riding him, and obviously, especially at the Breeders' Cup. He was superb last year. Superb when he won in Keeneland, and he's going for his third one, which is it's never been done in the Breeders' Cup turf before. Very few horses have done it at all. So look, he seems in great form. You wouldn't believe he's a 7-year-old. His zest for the game is amazing, and he's the ultimate racehorse.
That statement's an ultimate testimony to Charlie and the team's training of him, and also his constitution. Charlie is adamant. I don't want to put pressure on here, Willie. He is adamant stall 1 is no issue at all. William will sort it out. And he has experience of Breeders' Cups, which must help. But is stall 1 ever a really good box at this track?
Well, it could have been 14, couldn't it? No. So I'd rather.
So you've got the second worst draw.
Yeah.
Is that what you're
saying? No, I don't think so. I mean, look. He's a horse who likes to be forwardly placed anyway. Around a track like Delmar, I think a ground saving trip and a low draw, you're always going to be pretty happy with.
I suppose the nasty question is he just below European Group 1 standard? And I know you'll say, well, he's just won a Group 1 in Germany, but you know what I'm saying. And he now takes on proper European Group 1. In other words, what I'm saying is if Mini Hawk and Rebels Romance were in a match, Mini Hawk would be a long odds-on favourite, wouldn't he? Is that fair, or am I being cruel?
Well, I don't know. I wouldn't know. I don't know how to price horses up. Yeah. I don't know how
skirting
that works.
round the question, aren't you, really?
I know, but it's.
Do you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
But we're not in Europe. We're in the Breeders' Cup. Mini Hawk might miss the break. You might ping out because you've got experience.
But also, Rebels Romans hasn't had the chance to really prove himself in England properly. Obviously the King George this year we all know was a complete mess. He never got a chance to land the blow at all. So he still finished third in 2 King Georges. But look, we're here, end of the season in Delmar. He sets a very high standard.
We've seen with a horse like Via Sestina do something different in Australia to what she was here. Does Rebels feel different in America at all? Like, does he feel like a slightly different horse here?
Well, I think he enjoys fast ground, fast surface, even surface, and that's what he gets here. So I think that's one of the keys. But he don't forget he won the Hardwick this year. And it was a pretty good Hardwick as well. So yeah, I don't think he's just good in America. His CV's pretty global now. It's Hong Kong, Qatar, Dubai, England, obviously America. So yeah, he's got a pretty good CV.
I don't think we should under-egg, if that is an expression, this task, and also what it would mean to the Breeders' Cup if they could get another horse, another legend to win 3 Breeders' Cup races. And Rebels Romance is an equine legend.
For sure, and that's full credit to the horse only. We've been just very lucky to be on the back of him there, enjoying the ride to date. And look, Matt, I don't need to tell you what he's like. He comes out here, he can go out there blindfolded. His exercise every morning, he just pulls out, does what he's got to do, goes out on the track, canters around, comes back in again, and does the following thing the next day. So he looks great. We all know, of course, the build up to the race of what potentially could be achieved, but thankfully he doesn't know that. And Will knows him, as we know, inside out. Happy with the draw. Just got to get out there and let him find his feet out there. And as I say, of course there's younger legs in there and horses there. Mini Hawk she's going to take a bit of pegging back, needless to say. But the one thing I will say is whoever gets past him will know they've had a race anyway.
What I love about this horse is it's sort of slightly rolling back the years to what Godolphin was all about. When we remember the Singspiels back in the day, although he ran in Sheikh Mohammed's colours and fantastic light against Galileo, etc. These were horses that went around the world, hung around, and were just top notches. And I always felt that's what Sheikh Mohammed wanted when he created Godolphin. Those were the warriors that would go around the globe promoting Dubai and promoting horses, essentially, which he loves.
For sure. Like I say, first and foremost, it was why Godolphin was sort of built from Dubai. It's obviously moving horses around the world and competing, in Hong Kong and Japan and, around Europe and, I say, here in America, Australia. And, to do it over the last few years, and we've been thankfully very successful at it, and we've had our winners. But that was the initial thought of Godolphin, is that's what they want to do. Like you say, it's helped promote Dubai, but more importantly, I think it showed the world that horses can travel. We can always sometimes get pigeonholed as wanting to stay in Europe, or quite rightly, the Americans might want to stay here. But with His Highness Sheikh Mohammed and the Godolphin team, they're not frightened to travel and take the challenges on and hopefully reap the rewards.
Notable speech, 2,000 guineas winner, third here. He's gone 2 turns now. We didn't probably see the best of him last year. Is this a big opportunity to show the world what he can do?
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And, he was good when he won the Woodbine Mile. And he ran well in this race last year when he was third. And I think he probably wasn't, it was a bit new for him, 2-turn mile here last year. Now he won around the 2 turns in Woodbine and he's back here this year. So he has that experience under his belt. He's got a good draw in 2. You always need a bit of luck, but look, I think he's had a pretty good season, and he's a little bit unlucky not to have won more races, but he's coming here off the back of a real good win in Woodbine.
Yeah, Cinderella's dream, perfect race for Fillion Mare, and she was unlucky.
Yeah. Look, but again, she's been a great form. Actually, I sat on her yesterday morning, and. She's a real pro over here. She's got a lot of experience on the American tracks. It would be lovely to correct the last year's.
That hurt a bit last year.
Well, it's just it sort of. I wouldn't say it is what it is, because it means a little bit more than that. But it was just one of those unfortunate things. We weren't so sure about the distance, so we had to conserve a little bit, and we just didn't get the split in time. She was a very unlucky second. Probably should have won, but here we are again. Hopefully we can make it right.
Some of your rides at the Breeders' Cup have been quite exceptional closing rides, some of the best we've ever seen. Final question: if Rebel's Romance wasn't in the turf, and someone told you El Cordobas was a 30 to 1 shot for the turf, would you be thinking El Cordobas, and I know you've already said you don't do betting and stuff, but would you be thinking to yourself, this is a horse with a cracking each-way chance?
Yeah, and, Charlie doesn't send his horses over here unless he thinks they have a reasonable good chance. And he was up against Rebel's Romance in Aqueduct last time, so, he was playing second fiddle to him. And
small field, lack of pace,
and, he probably should have been second. And then you're looking at a slightly different form line, aren't you? So, but look, he's a progressive horse, and I think he's going to be there to pick up the pieces.
Francis-Henri Graffard, my favourite French trainer, is here at the Breeders' Cup, and he has brought charm and skill to the French training arena. Of course, he's won the Art recently and the Champion Stakes. Now he tries to win the Breeders' Cup race and do it for France, who once upon a time French horses were the key to the Breeders' Cup, but you have had shockers for nearly 10 years now. Nothing from France at Breeders' Cup.
Yes, I don't know why. I have tried myself, but it's very hard.
Is this because it's Farb is yesterday's man and someone's been waiting for a Graffard to turn up?
No, I don't know about that. But even Pascal Barry was very successful with those Niarchos horses, in the Breeders' Cup. So I hope the wheel will turn and we can be again very competitive in this meeting.
And don't forget Freddie and Goldacova, because he'll get upset.
Yes, of course.
Okay, I want to talk to you mainly about Goliath. Quite interesting, because he's got this string halt where his leg, I mean, how would you describe it? It's exaggerated movement.
Yeah, it's a nervous problem. It's not a problem. It's just the way he walks. I've spoken with many trainers, and they have had like some strangled horses, especially jumping. It's never bothered them. So it's ugly to watch when they walk, when they trot, but at high speed, it's never bothered him.
We've been talking a lot about scans in Australia for the Melbourne Cup. I believe your horse had to have quite a significant scan this week. How much of it is that annoyance just before you're about to run in a race?
Well, they wanted me to do a nuclear scan in France before I was coming, and I refused to do that for the horse because he would have had to be in box for quite a long time. So I refused to do that. So I did a full X-rays set for the horse. And he's 5, but he's just his constitution is amazing. So when we arrived here, we had to do this PET scan on Tuesday. It was fine because it was on the race course here, so the horse didn't have to travel far. It's bothering a little bit, but the horse took it well, and the results are fantastic. I mean, the PET scan is amazing. No problem at all to report. It's just the way he walks, the way he trots, and the vet here seems to be concerned about that.
Yeah. We know he's a good horse. He's a funny horse because your gut feeling is Goliath, he's raced in Germany a lot, he's going to need soft ground. But then he's got the run in the King George, good to firm. He's got the run in the Japan Cup, firm. And it wasn't a bad run in the Japan Cup. So is he actually just very versatile?
I think he's a very good horse. The key with him is he needs to be relaxed, and every time we tried to restrain him and give him a cover and things like that, he got upset and he never finished his race. But every time we let him free and do what he wants, he won. So that it all depends how the race will be. In Japan, we had draw number 1. We were boxed in, and the horse was very upset. So he ran not too bad. He was 6, but I think the key is that he needs to be nice and relaxed. So Michael Barzalona sat on him last week in a piece of work just to get a feeling of the horse and to understand what I was explaining to him about him. So yeah, we will fingers crossed.
Tactically, what are you hoping to do with him? And we know Europeans can miss the break and plans change immediately in Breeders' Cup races for whatever reason. But ideally, where would you like him to be after a furlong in the race?
Upside Rebels Romance entering the straight.
Right.
It doesn't need a cover. It just I don't want him to be stuck on the rail in the pack. Even if he's third wide with no cover, it doesn't matter because he just needs to be relaxed and in his own rhythm. That's all.
Is Salon as good as the horse looked in the Moulin? Do you think he's the type of horse who can back that up?
I think he's improving also physically. He was very weak behind this horse through the summer, and since the Moulin he has done really well. He has a strong turn of foot, this horse. The question is a good draw, but do we need to change our tactics with him? We know he likes to come from
fast and late.
Yes, exactly, because he has a very strong turn of foot. Again, I think we will need to ride him for himself. I don't want to miss the break. It's not. I don't want to sit last, but I think he can have a very strong turn of foot. We will see, but notable speech and the Lion in Winter are good horses too, so with good draws. So.
And Notable Speech will be trying to do, we think, what you're trying to do. You won't really want to try and close in on Notable Speech because you know he finishes off well.
Exactly. So we don't want to be too far back from him. No, I mean...
Watch a few clips of Goldick over.
Yeah. I hope a good run because after the Moulin, I targeted this race. I didn't want to run on soft ground in Europe. Didn't want to go for the Queen Anne. So targeted Queen Elizabeth, sorry. Hope it goes well. But my horse, I'm pleased with him. He looks really well. So fingers crossed.
And forgive me, Francis, but from an outsider looking in, Gisora started really well. Brilliant in the Diane, and we know how important the French Oaks is to French people. Pretty good in the Vermeil, but absolutely awful in the Arc. So there's a sort of pattern of there's a spiral downwards. What reasons do you think that she can go back up the spiral to here?
She has a good draw. She's very straightforward. She seems in good form. Good ground won't be a problem. She will be easy to ride, and she's much better than in the Arc. I mean, a lot of horses didn't have a good run in the Arc. There's only one winner, but she was too far back. It went wrong, and she's quite a small, weak filly. So I think it was a tough task for her in the Arc. But she was very close to Aventure, and the form of these 3-year-old fillies in Europe is probably questionable, apart from Mini Hawk, you know. No, I hope. I don't think the field is very, very strong. Do you? In the fillies and mares?
I think it could be stronger. Like Cinderella's Dream is a good horse, but not a horse you're going to wake up having nightmares about, I don't think.
Exactly. So no, I just hope for a good run, and if you finish in the first 3, we will be happy.
And as we say, in some ways, I talk about you as this new kid on the block. You're no kid, but your career has gone crazy in the last few years to a whole different level. And I know that you felt this sort of bit of responsibility of putting French racing back on the map. No better place to do that than Del Mar against the world's best.
I think it's the biggest races. It's important to be competitive in the big races. Even when I had very few horses, I always try to travel with them, and I was lucky that owners trust me to go abroad and travel. So it has been important for me, and now it's true. I think for French racing to be still on the big map, it's very important. So I hope we have some nice winners, and my colleague can build a stable from that, you know.
We speak much about global domination from Godolphin, but Keir Jarabshian's Ammo Racing has a real chance to be number 1 on the global scale at the Breeders' Cup at Del Mar, which is exactly, Keir, what you want, isn't it? You want to be seen around the globe as an operation who can take on anyone.
Well, I think this year we're coming with one of our strongest crops, and hopefully, next year and the year after we'll get stronger and stronger. That's the whole aim of it. I think we have 6 potential runners, 5 confirmed so far, with Arizona, Bucanero, Cathedral, Hill Road. Valiant is still to be an outfielder, so Valiant's just on the waiting to get in. And I think we come here with live chances in almost all of them.
Let's just talk about the sprint first of all, because that looks really strong. David Egan's chosen Arizona Blaze. Was that a no-brainer or quite a difficult choice?
No, I think that was a very difficult choice for him because they're both very, very competitive. As you saw, they both had a great run in Ireland, coming first and third. I think this track will suit Bucanero very much. Okay, he has a slightly more draw, which is more to the outside, but I don't think that'll worry him. He jumps very quickly. Arizona, obviously David won the Group 1 with him, and I think, he has to sit on the one that he won the Group 1 with. So he was, his heart's there, so we'll see.
Outfielder is trained by Wes Ward. It's the Breeders' Cup. We know what Wes can do with youngsters. You must be very hopeful of at least probably getting into the frame with that horse.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, Wesley is very confident. He's very bullish about everything, as you know, he always is. And outfielder had a great run in the morning. It was his second ever run, and to think that he had such a layoff and came back and ran, and it was a bit of a short distance, and I think the mile is going to really suit him. If he gets into a good position, David's riding him, and we're really confident.
And the others are quite big prices. Is there one of those that you feel could just pop up that you're quite excited about at a big price?
I'm really excited about Cathedral and Hill Road, to be honest. I think Hill Road has run very consistently, especially in the States. Chad has done an incredible job with him. He came third in Churchill Downs, and he's always had to run up against sovereignty journalism Baeza because he's been running on the dirt here. So it's been very competitive for him, and he's always done us proud. And I think this time he's going to run on the turf, which is something that he's used to. He ran on the turf back home, and I think he'll give a really, really good, show there. And Cathedral, this track is going to suit her, and the ground is going to suit her. She came fourth in Royal Ascot in Group 1. I think she could probably do a couple better here.
It's a growing year for Ammo. You've got a yard, you've got a trainer, you've got a jockey who's just signed for a couple of years. How important is it that Ammo now starts winning big races on the global scale?
Well, I mean, we've won 2 Group 1s so far in Ireland, and we keep, we've won multiple stakes in multiple groups. I think the horses are coming out here.
Yeah, you could have been saved by the bell, but we're going to keep going here. Don't worry.
I was hoping that one of them would run into you, maybe.
You wouldn't be the only one there. I'm surprised I haven't been pushed towards it. But anyway, thanks for your kind words.
No, but and on the global scale at the moment, now we are now competing. It's we're there and thereabouts. We've got I think Arizona will compete very heavily. I think Hill Road will compete. Cathedral will compete. They'll all compete. So we're here with a strong group, and we're going to get stronger and stronger. We knew 2 years ago when we first started buying those horses that we were going to be next year's horses. Next year we're going to have a much stronger string of 3-year-olds. This year we have purchased more 2-year-olds. We have homebreds coming through, Persian Force homebreds coming through. That really means a lot to us. King of Steel next year will have his babies on the ground, will be foals, and then they will start growing. So our operation needs 5 or 6 years. Look, we're growing. The team have done incredibly. We now have 2 yards in Newmarket, and we still are significantly far behind. Operations like Coolmore, Jadmont, Aga Khan's, Godolphins.
And that's where you want to be, yeah? That's where you, in the back of your mind.
But they've taken.
That's what you want, yeah.
They've taken tens of years. They're 35, 40 years ahead of us, right?
So do you think
we're catching up? But
do you think the people have expected with you too much too soon? Because you're quite a blustery character. You've come in with force. You talk a good story. So do you think people have just expected world domination too soon, and it's a work in progress sort of thing?
Well, yeah, I mean, I think about, people look at your investment as well, and they think, okay, well, that investment's got to come through, but that investment doesn't come through immediately, right? In footballing terms, for example, like Liverpool invested 600 million, but, it takes them time to get those players to adapt, and Arsenal have taken, 7-8 years to get to where they are now, and they're getting there, and now they are really at the very pinnacle at the top, for example, from a footballing perspective. So for us, on a racing perspective, it's very similar. We are investing now for the future. We're investing with our stallions, with our mares. We're also investing in young sort of yearlings and bloodstock. So we are making the investments, and we know that we have to wait 5 or 6 years before some of those investments really come to proper fruition.
This is Bo Derek. I slightly feel like I've made you come close to me, Bo. But I know that's not necessary, because you just love horses. You love the Breeders' Cup. I
do.
It's great for the sport that someone like you is so involved, I think.
I do. My other business, that took me to France last year, I went to the track and saw Goliath run. And so the part of racing is this new whole network of like-minded people who are horse crazy like me. Yeah. And so now here I am. I'm going to see Francis, and he's going to take me to see Goliath again. So it's just changes your life when you get into almost any sport in horses, but especially racing.
And your whole life has evolved around characters, whether it be in movies, now with horses, and there aren't many bigger characters than Goliath with the way he goes about his life.
Yes, and don't forget the human characters too. We were talking about some of them earlier, and in my life I tend to collect them, characters.
Yeah. When you were at the height of your movie stardom, and modelling stardom, were horses a big part of you then?
Always. I was born. There must be a genetic code. I was born horse crazy with this affinity, and I grew up surfing and sailing. So I wasn't around horses until I made some money.
which you did in style.
Takes a lot of.
Yeah. And what is it particularly about a horse that kind of gives you peace?
I think it's that moment where a horse will leave its pack, its herd, and come over to you because it wants to. We're generally seen as predators to them. So when they do that, it just fills you with a sense, it's vain, because it makes you feel good about yourself, but also you've crossed over to something very inherent and instinctual and primitive.
Another Breeders' Cup runner behind you. Rashabar goes past. He runs for Brian Meehan, who's a dual Breeders' Cup winning trainer. And is there, obviously sovereignty's gone from the Breeders' Cup, which we're all sad about.
Very sad about.
But it looks a classic to really enjoy still, the likes of journalism, fierceness. And Mike Rapoli is a man I know that you might team up with in the future and do work
Yes.
good work for horses,
Yes.
proper work.
Yes, I think so. I think he can be very helpful here on some issues that I care a lot about. But, I still get that. I don't know, there's something, I see a Breeders' Cup course go by in the background, and it's just an excitement that is like no other for me.
I will let you get on with your day. It's always an absolute pleasure to speak to you. And as I say, I'm just so pleased that someone like you loves horse racing in America and does all the good work you do. Keep it up.
Oh, thank you.
Wowie woo with bells on. That was a lot to get through, but I hope you've enjoyed all the build-up to Breeders' Cup 2025. Of course, all the chit-chat, all the fun, it's just the hors d'oeuvre to the main US dish. No, not a great big steak in the middle of San Diego, the actual live racing. Friday, we see so many talented youngsters, and then Saturday, it's hardcore racing action. Come on, Precise. Come on, Mini Hawk. Come on, Gestard. Come on, Goliath. Come on, Rebels Romance. It's time for Europe to show Trump and the US what we're made of.